It's hard to hear already. These fans are certainly ready. The players are ready after one of the most compelling regular seasons we've seen in quite some time. And Mark, you played in your share of playoff games, even as a veteran. How pumped up do you get for game one of the playoffs?
Oh, there's nothing like it. And you talk about what two teams that's been very successful recently. It's about a grind as Shaquille O'Neal misses the lob pass. It's a grind, so they look forward to this opportunity.
Tony Parker's down. He got hit on that collision as the Spurs come away. Finley, the ball fake. And an offensive foul as Grant Hill steps in and draws the charge. But Parker's shaken up. Did not make it down the court after getting whacked in the face.
I got hyped up for Division III playoff NCAA games too, Mike, in case you're wondering. Okay?
Many raucous crowds in those arenas as well.
600-700.
We've got a 3 seed, the San Antonio Spurs, and a 6 seed, the Phoenix Suns. O'Neal inside, misses. He's 0 for 2. When's the last time a 6 seed won 55 games? Which is one less than San Antonio won in what was the Wild Wild West this year. Duncan goes at Stoudemire in a quick foul. And it'll be very interesting to see how this game and this series is officiated. Last year they met in the Western Conference semifinals, a very physical series, a controversial series with the Robert Horry Steve Nash bump and the suspensions. So that will go a long way in deciding.
And I'm surprised that O'Neal's not guarding Duncan early in the game. Stoudemire's had his troubles in the past defending Duncan.
Occasionally picking up quick fouls against him. Has to kind of take it easy that time as O'Neal gets the rebound, trying to get Alberto off him.
And we talked about it before this series even started. Coach and I, Tim Duncan has to be aggressive. The first 2 plays makes big-time moves.
Oh, there's a big-time move. Stoudemire showing his quickness and power.
Hey, Amari Stoudemire, he has to feel like he's the best player on the floor, the best player in this series. That has to be his mentality.
Parker, nice fake. Here at home, the Spurs 34-7. And that's one of the best home records in the NBA. Only Utah and Boston played better at home. Meanwhile, the Suns a good road team as Nash misfires. Grant Hill tips it out and they get a new 24. On the road, they were 25-16, including 2 victories here in San Antonio. Raja Bell knocks down the 3.
Now you look at Steve Nash coming off that pick and roll, realizing that Tony Parker was chasing behind him, keeps the ball in his right hand, and makes the correct play.
Bell, one of the better defenders. Phoenix has improved on their defense in recent weeks. They've never been known as a strong defensive team as Nash fouls Parker hard, and Parker will shoot 2.
You look at the explosiveness of Amari Stoudemire. Faces does a good job of not just making a move, but a grown man move, attacking Alberto all the way to the rim.
Now in his 6th year in the league and his best. You see those numbers. The scoring was 5th in the NBA. The field goal percentage also 5th. The block shots were 6th. In fact, it was the highest field goal percentage for a Phoenix Sun in 13 years. He had a fabulous season and has worked well with Shaquille O'Neal. But as you look with O'Neal, they're 18-11 since making that big trade with Miami. Where have they improved the most, Jeff?
Well, I think they can protect the basket better than they used to be able to. They have to double team less, which makes their 3-point defense best. And most importantly, they can rebound the ball in traffic.
It didn't start out well. They were 3-6 after the first 9 games with Shaq, and it was Armageddon in Phoenix. But nobody panicked. They started getting used to each other as Parker moves his pivot foot and is called for a travel. Already 3 turnovers for San Antonio, which is unlike them. And there you see the struggles early, but boy, they've been scoring a lot of points once he got used to this new offense. Nash for 3.
And right now, Phoenix is getting much better shots than San Antonio is.
Bell and Bowen is also a fun matchup when they're on each other. 2 physical, tough defenders as Duncan lost it. That's 4 turnovers. And again, you look at the Spurs, they're 4th in the NBA in fewest turnovers. It's one of their strengths, but not in the early minutes.
If I'm Greg Popovich, I don't like the way that this game is starting. The Suns getting wide open looks, and I'm not taking care of the basketball, referring to the Spurs.
All right, we already have the extracurricular, the flapping, the pushing, the shoving. So we've seen in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, perhaps the tone that's going to be set for this series. They call that foul on Alberto. Mike D'Antoni and the Suns so upset after last year's conference semifinal, losing in 6 games to these San Antonio Spurs. We can only hope this series comes close in terms of the drama and the passion. Stoudemire trying to force it up. O'Neal comes away with it. Offensive foul as Alberto picks up the charge.
See the offensive rebounding of the Suns. You got to get this basketball out. Alberto, good position. That's a flop right there. Yep. Good position, but that's a flop. That's a no call.
Alberto already with a couple of flops, and then Bell will reach in. So 4 of the 5 starters have each picked up a foul for Phoenix, and the officials we can see right away are calling it tight. Kurt Thomas will quickly come in for Alberto. Thomas, who last year was with Phoenix, and his job was to stop Tim Duncan. Now this year he's Duncan's teammate, and his job is to stop Shaquille O'Neal, or at least help. An excellent pickup, the veteran they acquired from Seattle. Finley. Duncan on the drive. And a blocking foul called on O'Neal. That's his second foul. They say he was in the restricted area. And Shaquille O'Neal's going to have to sit down right away.
And here's why I have a problem with the rule. There shouldn't be a restricted area. Shaquille O'Neal in position to take the hit. Takes the hit. That should be an offensive foul.
Well, I actually like the restricted area rule as far as having to stand out a certain distance to take a charge. What I think, though, is O'Neal should never be trying to take a charge. Go up and block shots. You're 7'1". You just got a foul. Your team cannot have you on the bench.
Well, he was clearly in that restricted area. It's the call down the other end that should not have gone against him. As Duncan goes to the line, and Duncan, who at times has really struggled at the free throw line, this year shot his highest in 6 years, shot 73%. Again, he's not the leading scorer anymore on this team, as Ginobili has overtaken that. But he's still one of the best defensive players in the league. You see the numbers. That 1 year he shot just under 80%, but has been sporadic since. Takes the full 10 seconds. You're going to have to start counting again. Well, O'Neal will sit for a good long while. Boris Diaw is checked in. When Diaw's on, Phoenix so tough to beat. Grant Hill. How about Grant Hill getting a chance to play a lot of games this year? 70, most he's played in 8 seasons. This is his first year in Phoenix, and he is loving life as a member of the Suns. Bowen blocked from behind by Hill. Nice play. Phoenix still one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA. Third highest. Stoudemire.
You know, Popovich talked about how explosive Stoudemire is from getting from point A to B. He says when he catches the basketball from Nash, he's already on the move. That time, picture perfect, pick and roll, and attack.
San Antonio still without a field goal. They're 0 for 2 with 5 turnovers. Duncan still without a field goal. Duncan tips it a couple of times. The offensive rebound, and they'll reset. He's going to be fouled by Diaw. So Duncan.
Talk about Shaq to start this ball game. Not able to finish the lob pass. Has Tim Duncan on his back. Not able to finish once again. And then offensive rebound. The charge against Alberto. And then trying to get the offensive foul against Duncan. Doesn't get the call. 2 early fouls and on the bench.
And Phoenix already in the penalty. That shot from Duncan did not count, but it's the 15th foul. 5 team fouls per quarter. You go to the line. As Duncan right back there.
But, Mike, I think it's critical for Duncan to get into his move on his first dribble before Grant Hill can come over and half double team. And then San Antonio spacing, they have to bring somebody in front of the ball to open up more gaps for Duncan. They're being able to load up on him, and their spacing is not good right now.
And Duncan makes another. So off to a good start from the line. Steve Nash immenses second in the NBA in assists, but also shot 50% from the field. And Stoudemire blocked by Duncan. He wanted a foul. That was good defense. Parker, the floater. We've seen San Antonio as DL kicks it out to Raja Bell. And Jeff, you said this right at the top. They've got to be able to score. We've seen them go through some ugly droughts offensively as Nash's shot goes off the mark.
But without O'Neal on the floor right now on that side, they should be getting to the basket.
Kurt Thomas, nice fake. Lost the handle, however. And another turnover. Raja Bell to Diaw. As we approach the midway point of the first. Diaw spinning. Stoudemire. You're surprised when that doesn't go in the way he's improved his jump shot. And we'll have a whistle. And a timeout. Spurs 0 for 4 from the field. 6 turnovers to begin game one. Phoenix with the lead. But Shaquille O'Neal with 2 fouls. What's concerning you right now from the San Antonio standpoint?
Well, just their ability to score. They've averaged 3 less points a game this year, only 95. They scored 87 and 79 against Phoenix the last 2 times when O'Neal was here. They just don't seem to have right now enough firepower to go along with Parker and Ginobili and Duncan.
Only shooting 33%. They had the 8 turnovers in the first quarter. And they just can't get a basket to go down right now. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Phoenix again. And again, Phoenix known for their offense, but their defense, Mark, as you pointed out earlier, it's just been better in recent weeks.
Well, the reason why is, watching them defend, there's a sense of urgency. Guys are committed and locked in to following the game plan that's been assigned.
Bowen on the drive. Wow. They've missed 7 shots in a row. That's not the shot they want him creating off the dribble.
Right, but give Stoudemire credit, who's guarding Bowen. Instead of closing out short to Bowen, he ran him off the shot, made him put it down, and that's not Bowen's game.
And just as I was thinking, Greg Popovich has to find a shot maker and insert him into the game. All's on Brent Barry to come on.
Barry, who has hardly played down the stretch of the season as Diaw misses. He was traded to Seattle for that Kurt Thomas deal. Came back, but had a bad calf injury. Nice feet inside and Duncan to finish. So they could use Brent Barry. Greg Popovich told us before the game, they have a problem with the clock, that he didn't think he was going to use Brent Barry or Robert Horry because neither really have been able to play a lot down the stretch, except if I was in dire circumstances, foul trouble, or we really needed something. He needs something.
Well, this is dire circumstances. And I think right now they got to play through Tim Duncan. Run him down the floor. Tim Duncan's got to get to the block earlier. He's got to get deeper. And right now, if he's got to carry him for this rest of the pass, so be it.
DL, lazy pass, got deflected. 6 turnover for Phoenix. Duncan makes it easy.
There you go. That's part of the problem. The other Phoenix Suns, you have to sense you have an opportunity to put together a perfect half. You have to close it out the right way. Right now, the Spurs are climbing back into it.
Duncan almost a perfect half. 7 of 9 from the field. He's got 19 points. Nash. Stoudemire. Hand in his face and a foul. Duncan upset. Bennett Salvatore tells him to stop. He better be careful as he picks up his 2nd foul.
Well, he should be upset. Looked like he contested the shot of Stoudemire. No contact.
He's always upset, though, after foul calls. He's looking up at the replay. Mike D'Antoni gives him a pat on the butt. He gives a word to Bennett Salvatore.
I would just rather an official say, "I missed it."
They do that, don't they?
No, they do. And when they say that, it takes all the anger away. It's when they try to explain that they actually got it right when they obviously got it wrong. It drives you crazy.
Well, one of Salvatore's strengths are his rapport with people. He's got a personality. He's got a good rapport talking to coaches and the players. That's one of the reasons he's one of the better officials.
Oh, he's a great official. I love having him on the road. I'm just saying, when you blow it, you blow it. It's a hard game to officiate.
Reminder, visit NBA.com. You can get ready for the playoffs at NBAstore.com. Find the best selection of team jerseys, hats, T-shirts, and more. As we have a foul away from the ball, Diaw picks up his third. So Diaw and Shaq each with 3. Ryan Skinner is going to get some minutes.
And Diaw tried to tell Mike D'Antoni he was okay. He wanted to play with the fouls, but Skinner's a guy that can be trusted defensively, and another live body against Duncan.
Stoudemire stays on the bench. He has only 2. The last thing Mike D'Antoni wants is another of his front court players to have 3. Parker gets inside. Oh, he's so good.
So we're watching his breakdowns defensively for the Phoenix Suns, not closing out this half the way that they should.
It's amazing. A guy, he's not frail, but he's thin. He doesn't have a lot of muscle, yet he goes in and takes contact, didn't get a lot of contact there, but as well as any point guard in the league.
So your job if you're Barbosa is to keep him in front of you and make him a jump shooter. That time did not try to jump over the screen and Parker as good as anybody.
Rise inside, lots of contact there. Parker thought he got hit as Barbosa backed up. Skinner down the lane. And Skinner draws the foul.
What I love about that play is Steve Nash. You have to trust guys. You know, some guys would turn down Skinner trailing the play. Hey, if it's the right play, make the right play. Gets him the basketball, attacks the basket, and gets the foul.
So down the other end, Skinner misses the first free throw. Skinner in his 10th year in the league. He's played for 7 different teams, a couple of them 2 different times, traded 5 times, played his college ball at Baylor. They signed him as a free agent this year after Kurt Thomas was let go, but he hasn't played a lot of minutes down the stretch of the season. Well, with all the foul trouble, getting some important minutes right here.
Parker's got to get out of there.
Jump shot short. Rebound, Raja Bell.
Parker's standing at the top of the key with Grant Hill defending him, and Grant Hill's clogging up Tim Duncan's post-up.
That's what they call poor spacing, correct? Ginobili. Barry. Good ball movement, but good defense from Phoenix. Barry for 3. Bang! Fans cheered when he got off the bench because they were desperate from offense, and he supplies them with their first 3-pointer of the half. Nash knocks it down. Just the second field goal for Nash. He has 5 assists. Skinner on Duncan. Another big body to try and stop him instead of foul. And Duncan will go to the line for 2.
And the difference with having Brent Barry on the floor, you can spread the floor offensively. Good ball movement. Everybody touches it, looking to make plays for one another. Ball finds Brent Barry wide open. Gotcha. Over the contested hand of Nash.
But then you come down the next time, and you wonder, why is their spacing better? Well, they put Tony Parker on the baseline with Grant Hill guarding him, so he couldn't come over and clog up Tim Duncan's post-up. So as Duncan wheeled into the middle, he had 3 3-point shooters on the perimeter, and Parker was long on the baseline. A good adjustment by the San Antonio Spurs.
Duncan, meanwhile, 6 of 7 from the line. Excellent job shooting free throws. As we said, Tim Duncan has been in the playoffs every year since he's been here with San Antonio. 4 titles, same as Shaquille O'Neal, the 2 big guys. Duncan, of course, has won it with one team, or Shaq with the Lakers and the Heat. Although Shaq this year, if he gets into the finals, he'd be the first player ever to take 4 different teams to an NBA Finals. As a reach and foul call there on Barry.
And I like that foul right there. That's a hack of Skinner right there. A foul on purpose to try to get more possessions. Now San Antonio can come back 2 for 1. European coaches do this a lot. They foul in the shot clock to get 2 for 1 situations late in the quarter.
Skinner averaged just under 13 minutes a game this season. From the free throw line, 52%. Coming up at half, the T-Mobile halftime report. Stuart Scott, Michael Wilbon, and John Barry. Highlights of the Cavaliers win in Game 1. Conversation with Mavs guard Jason Kidd. And Tyson Chandler's 35 dunkers. All coming up the T-Mobile halftime report. Skinner goes 1 of 2.
He shouldn't have got a second shot, though, with that goatee. You should forfeit 1 of your 2 free throws.
Parker into the paint. Nice move from Tony Parker. He's got 8 points. And despite all the problems San Antonio's had here in the first half, they're only down by 9.
Well, the difference early on, Tony Parker coming off the screen and roll going east-west. Now it's going north-south, looking to go to the basket.
Grant Hill. And Ginobili. Mike D'Antoni upset with Barbosa on that foul. They're in the penalty. Barbosa picks up his 3rd foul. So 3 different Suns with 3 personals apiece.
An acting job by Ginobili, but if you're Barbosa, you have to be smarter and get back on the defensive end.
And that goes back to the hack of Skinner play. So Skinner makes 1 of 2. They get a layup because of a poor show and a poor help on a pick and roll. They get a stop and they get fouled. This could be a big swing for San Antonio to boost their confidence going into the second half.
Well, Neal's hardly played, just 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Ginobili at the line. As we mentioned earlier, he has really struggled against Phoenix, shooting 29% from the field against them in the season series, and just 1 of 6 to start. The thing with Ginobili, though, if he's not shooting well, he can still help in so many other ways.
Right, but you have to give Raja Bell a lot of credit. It's not a coincidence that Ginobili has been limited in his effectiveness, as we see here on the screen, 29%. Raja Bell, Bruce Bowen gets a lot of deserved praise for his defense. I love Raja Bell's defense. He's tough, he's nasty, and he's competitive.
Both of them were first-team All-NBA defense last year. Bowen's been on it every year for the past 7. Bell making it last year.
And you see the substitution by Mike D'Antoni, getting Skinner out of the ball game, bringing in Giricek, more of a shooter, avoiding the hack of Skinner routine. And then if you're the Suns right now, you have to take the last shot of this hack.
Now,
checking something with his scorers table right now.
Oberto checked in, and then they substituted for him before any time had gone off the clock. But if Greg Popovich wants to get him out, if he has his 20, he could use that and get him out of the game.
But he's going to keep him in. And Jacques Vaughn will come out. Once you come in, you have to be out there for 1 possession, or at least for the clock to start.
And why it's important is, who is Oberto going to guard as Phoenix has downsized to 5 smalls?
Ginobili misses it. Shot clock turned off as we wind down the first half. What we expected, a physical battle. Nash. Hill not expecting it. Here comes Ginobili. Final seconds. And Giricek tracks it down as we end the second quarter.
Mike, I just spoke with Greg Popovich, and he agrees with Jeff Van Gundy. He said our offensive decision-making was poor. He said, I thought guys were in a hurry. Maybe they were anxious. I really don't know. The other thing he criticized was their rebounding from the perimeter. He called it awful, and that's something they have to correct. He said, we've got to fix everything or we're going to lose. Mike?
Well, coming back from double-figure deficits, no big deal for these 2 teams in their playoff series last year. They did it a couple of times as Bowen didn't handle a pass. San Antonio had 8 turnovers in the first quarter, didn't turn it over in the second, and that one starts the third. Alberto guarding Stoudemire and Duncan on Shaq. Shaq again only played 5 minutes in that first half with the foul woes. Tough shot.
But if you're Shaquille O'Neal in that situation, you have to fight harder prior to the catch. Put Duncan in trouble by battling him so that when you catch it, you're in good position.
Michael Finley knocks down the jumper. Finley's first field goal. He had a rough season. The veteran didn't shoot well for a good portion of it and kind of caught fire a little bit toward the tail end of the regular season. Raja Bell trying to draw a foul on Parker, and he does. And Parker picks up his third. So Parker, the first member of San Antonio with 3. Suns have a trio of them. Tony Parker last year, of course, was fabulous in the playoffs, including the Finals MVP and the 4-game sweep over Cleveland. This is his 101st playoff game already. He's only 25 years old. And it's so funny, Greg Popovich at first didn't want him to be the point guard and was very hard on him. And those two have developed a great relationship, and he's turned into obviously one of the most successful point guards in the league with 3 championship rings.
Well, they're both wine connoisseurs, and they can talk in a friendly manner over a little glass of Cabernet.
You need that bond. Some common ground. Finley. Finley, a couple of jumpers to start the third quarter.
You see the mindset of Michael Finley, realizing that the team struggled because no presence from the perimeter in the first half. Second half comes out aggressive.
Nash getting inside. He thought he got hit. Instead, Phoenix called for foul. It's Amari Stoudemire. That's his third. This place was wild at tip-off, and then they got quiet. Well, team fell behind by 16 points in the first half. And right now, it's only a 6-point game. Make it a 4-point game.
And again, Parker's in the paint. No show by O'Neal. He's just shooting that little teardrop shot over the top of really no help.
O'Neal doubled. Stoudemire on the drive, draws the foul. And he'll get to the free throw line. One of the fun matchups, of course, the 2 big guys who've won 8 rings between them.
The right mindset by Shaq, trying to run down the middle of the floor and then steal Tim Duncan behind him. In order for him to be effective, that's how he has to play offensive basketball.
Stoudemire this year, as he gets the first one to go, 80% from the free throw line. He had a game this year, he shot 20 for 20. Guy his size, such a good free throw shooter.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Tony Parker, the way that the Suns defended the pick and roll last time, I'm coming right back to it. If you're going to defend that poorly pick and roll, I'm going to expose it.
Nash is guarding Parker. And a whistle. 3-second violation. It's an offensive 3-second violation. All the players were wondering who was it called on. So it's against Alberto. Ginobili quickly comes in. Just 2.5 minutes into the third. Ginobili enters and Bowen sits. Alley-oop. Oh, perfect pass. And Stoudemire points and says good pass to his teammate Steve Nash.
Recognition, not a set play. Spurs on top of Stoudemire. Eye contact. Nash to Stoudemire.
Ginobili just 1 for 7 from the field, goes right at Shaq and puts it in.
And I love the early substitution by Greg Popovich to get Ginobili into the game.
Boy, everybody's screaming. Nash thought he was fouled. The Spurs thought they were fouled after securing the board. Alberto rushed a shot. 6-point game with just over 3.5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. O'Neal deep in the post, banks it in.
And that's what we're talking about. Before the catch, putting so much pressure on Tim Duncan. When Shaq has his mind made up to get underneath the basket, catch, give a target, you cannot defend him.
His first points, again, hardly played in that first half. Picking up the 3 fouls. Suns beat the Spurs both times since the trade for Shaquille O'Neal. He moves out of the way, wouldn't pick up his fourth. Ginobili wise to go right at him. Stoudemire, the trailer. And Duncan, another rebound, number 9. Parker makes his move. Again, the floater. Tony Parker lighting it up to start the third period.
And you can say, as a fan, Steve Nash is not doing the job defensively. But it's not Steve Nash's fault. When it's pick-and-roll basketball, you're only as good as the big guy defending. Shaquille O'Neal zoning the area, allowing the perimeter guys to get sweet looks.
Nash finding Stoudemire inside. Oh, perfect pass.
But Michael Finley's got to step over. That pass cannot go to Stoudemire. It has to go to Grant Hill.
Blocked from behind by Davis. Parker. And a kick ball. Shot clock will be put up to 14.
Look at this pick and roll. Shaquille O'Neal is in the paint area. Who is going to be up there to stop Tony Parker? And the reason why you go zone if you're Phoenix, because you've been picked apart in the pick and roll. This eliminates that.
Parker had an opening, didn't shoot it. Shot clock down to 6. Ginobili, good quick pass. Parker wide open. Hits a 3. Parker's not a big three-point shooter, only 26% during the regular season, but that brings the Spurs back within 5.
And one thing I learned from coaches, it doesn't matter which defense you play. If you do it halfway, you're going to be exposed. That time allowing Tony Parker as the clock dwindles down to get a wide open look.
O'Neal forces that one in.
And when you're playing O'Neal on the right block, you always have to play him for the spin back. He's not going into the middle. He may start there with the dribble. He's always spinning back. It's the post depth right now that's giving Duncan a problem against O'Neal.
Duncan comes right back, blocked by O'Neal. Shaq the rejection. That's his first of the game. Kurt Thomas is in, guarding Stoudemire. Nash looks over the shot clock. It's got 7. Stoudemire lost it, knocked out of its hands. I think it was Parker that got a piece of it. Ginobili, offensive foul on Ginobili. Greg Popovich, who already has a technical foul, started storming down the sideline and quickly gathered himself.
Hey, I give these referees a lot of credit right now, and not just teeing up both teams. I'd have a free throw shooting contest right now. This is a good call. That's a definite charge. Everybody's complaining. Man, I really admire these guys. They're showing great restraint as officials.
Do you hear what we're hearing, Mark?
I'm amazed. I'm speechless, actually.
Raja Bell. And O'Neal playing catch. Bell tied up. And a foul. It's going to go against Kurt Thomas. Stoudemire pushed off, but it was after Thomas made the initial contact, and he knows it. Reminder, Lost returns with all new episodes starting Thursday at a new time, 10/9 Central, after a new Grey's Anatomy coming up on Thursday on ABC. Nash looking. Grant Hill has an opening. Way short. Air ball. Here comes Duncan leading the break. Duncan, coast to coast. No, they wave it off. An offensive foul. And that's 3 on Duncan. Let's take a look at the replay. As substitutions come in, Duncan wants to see the replay as well. It appears even that left heel was outside the restricted area.
But that's not the thing. He avoided the contact. He slid by. That's nothing. That's a play on in the NBA. In college, and that's what I hate about college basketball, everything's a charge. It's become too much like that. The first one Nash took, he took on the chest. That one wasn't a charge.
Bad pass from Nash. So you want to see if the player can make that kind of adjustment, even though there's contact, just let it go.
Right, sliding by, using your body control, to me, that's a no call right there. But I love Nash putting his body on the line to try to win the game.
Meanwhile, Diaw picks up his 4th foul. Nash has drawn 2 charges here in the 3rd quarter. See Duncan having the big game numbers-wise. O'Neal has hardly played with the foul trouble, but he's been a presence certainly here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but you know what I love about those headshots is when they put them together on that ESPN commercial where they're both talking at the same time. That is wild.
You like that?
I do, and they should do that right there with those headshots on the stats. That'd be awesome.
All part of the big playoff push after what was one of the most compelling regular seasons we've seen in a long time. We've got so many terrific matchups. For the first time ever, 8 playoff teams from the same conference finished with 50 wins. That, of course, was the West. 11 teams total won 50 games. That's the most ever. So many great stories in a regular season and so many terrific matchups to start the playoffs.
And 6 teams in the Eastern Conference got over 500.
They get a new 24. Finley in and out. That one halfway down.
How about Greg Popovich, instead of going with Jacques Vaughn or Damon Stoudemire, brings in Brent Barry, so no true point guard on the floor, although Barry has played it in the past.
Barry hit a big 3 in the 2nd quarter after that 16-point Suns lead. Diaw, tough shot falling away. Boris Diaw is on his game here this afternoon.
And when Nash gets behind the basket like a hockey player playing behind the goal, he is so devastating because naturally you're going to look at him, and that's when Boris Diaw made a nice cut.
Duncan using the left hand.
I love that depth on that post up right there by Duncan. Catch, hard dribble middle, wheel back baseline. Put Stoudemire in the torture chamber.
He's putting up some good numbers. Stoudemire misses. Barry the rebound. 7-point lead for Phoenix. A little over 3 to play here in the 3rd. Game 1 of this best-of-7 series. Game 2 will be Tuesday right back here. Kurt Thomas nearly throws it out. Duncan, contested shot. Stoudemire couldn't hold on, and Kurt Thomas comes away with it. Ginobili. Duncan, blocked by Stoudemire. Barbosa, a 1-on-3 break, kicks it back for Raja Bell, and won't go but a foul. Tim Duncan getting a rest right now. He's been terrific. 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 block shots. But his team still down by 7 as Raja Bell will go to the line for 2. Bell knocks it down. First round coverage of the NBA playoffs continues. ABC Sunday tomorrow. The Nuggets and the Lakers game 1 from the Staples Center. 3 Eastern. NBA playoffs, your NBA destination on ABC. Coverage against GMC NBA countdown at 2:30. What do you think of that matchup, guys?
Lakers in 5.
I think the Nuggets can score, but they do a poor job of defending, and the Lakers will expose that.
Ginobili gets inside. Oh, tough shot with O'Neal right on him. That time he defended him, but Ginobili still put it in. He's now in double figures. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Barbosa in and out. Raja Bell the rebound. O'Neal wants it. Offensive foul on O'Neal. Kurt Thomas drawing the penalty. Shaq picks up his 4th.
And not a good call. Kurt Thomas, one of the best in the business as far as flopping and making it look like the contact was towards him. Shaq puts a body, gives a target, and then the call goes against.
I don't know.
I played with Kurt, and coach is coach. very good at making it look like the contact was the other guy.
He had a forearm to the throat. Ginobili, tough shot. And it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, but that's because he was up and under it. I think sometimes, I know people of size in this league get officiated incorrectly.
Gierczek puts it in. Ryan Gierczek, who was traded from Utah to Philadelphia during the season, let go by Philly, and signed by Phoenix. He's hit some shots to help this team.
And he actually played well for Utah last year in the playoffs.
Parker to Alberto. Lost the handle. Last touch by Diaw. And it's San Antonio ball.
I don't like the way that the Suns are defending Tony Parker in pick and roll. If I was Greg Popovich, I would exclusively run that. He's coming off the screen. Shaq is zoning the area, and it's saying basically pick your poison. Tony Parker can step into a rhythm, teardrop or jumper at any point.
By the way, this teardrop thing, I was at a roast for Yao Ming the other day, and this player, Johnny Egan, who played for the Rockets, a very good player, said he invented the teardrop, and Mark Jackson was plagiarizing. Chick Hearn dubbed it the alley-oop shot, so he said, make sure you tell Mark Jackson he's plagiarizing.
You got to be kidding me as Bell knocks down the jump shot.
I'm just saying what Johnny Egan told me.
Johnny Egan, I'm looking for you. You're better than that.
He's in Houston if you want to know where he's at. He looked good, too. He's in better shape than me, you, or most NBA players.
Final minute here of the third. Parker, an easy two. Parker with 9 points here in the third quarter.
Once again, off of the pick and roll, Tony Parker able to get into the paint. At some point, a body has to be there and make him a jump shooter.
Gierczek wanted it. Bell didn't get it to him. Diaw passes up the shot. Raja Bell pulls up. Won't go. Hard pick set by Diaw on that play. And the Spurs will hold it for the final shot.
But a good no call. Another flop by Ginobili. The referee did a good job there backing off any type of call.
And a whistle and a foul. More contact. This one's going to go against Amari Stoudemire. That's his fourth. So 4 on Stoudemire, 4 on Shaq.
And we talked about Kurt Thomas. Denzel Thomas does a good job of creating the contact against Stoudemire and then selling the foul.
That was like a triple flop. Thomas flopped, Stoudemire flopped, and Ginobili was about to flop on the screen.
Thomas again last year with Phoenix. He had to guard Duncan. This year he's got to guard Shaq. I asked him what's the difference. He said about 100 pounds. Wherever he's gone, he's been a defensive presence, a real pro. And as Kurt Thomas, of course, started off his career in Dallas, Miami, the Knicks. Last year with Phoenix, this year started in Seattle. Shot clock turned off. Parker on the drive, gets inside. Oh, so easy for Parker. Barbosa. It'll count if it goes. Not a bad attempt. And that will end the third quarter. Suns this year, when they've been on the road and had the lead after 3 quarters, they're 21-1. They have been very tough in the fourth quarter on the road. The only team to come from behind and beat them was Golden State. Raja Bell knocks down the jumper.
And that was a gross defensive error by Ginobili. He got turned around and then was late playing the handoff. Bell wide open.
Ginobili at the other end. Draws the foul, count it, and 1. Diaw went for the fake. 5 on Diaw.
You look at the defense, Diaw trying to stay in front, contest. Shot fake by Ginobili, gets him in the air, gets the contact, going to the line for the possible three-point play.
Manu Ginobili this year with the career highs in scoring, in assists, and in rebounds. As we mentioned, Ginobili leading the team in scoring. First reserve to lead his team in scoring since the 96-97 season.
Who did it then?
It was here in San Antonio. You'd be shocked at who it was. Dominique Wilkins.
The human highlight film.
Second in scoring that year was the Admiral, David Robinson, who's in the stands here this afternoon. Stoudemire on the drive, gets inside. Thomas stays right with him, and a foul. These two have been going at it pretty strong. 2 fouls now on Kurt Thomas. Stoudemire perfect from the line, 6 for 6. Again, for a big guy, he's a terrific free throw shooter. Mike Callahan saying, let's go. Let's get somebody along the lane here. Stoudemire a little shaken up on the play, obviously.
I think if you're Mike D'Antoni, after watching your team put together a solid first half defensively, you have to be concerned about the way they play defense in the third quarter. You're going to face adversity on the road, but it can't be self-inflicted.
A road win would be so crucial for Phoenix here in Game 1. Last year when they faced each other in the conference semifinals, Phoenix had the home court and San Antonio went in and they won Game 1. That was the game where Steve Nash and Tony Parker banged heads. Nash was bleeding, had to come out with that big gash on his nose. And San Antonio escaped with a win en route to a 6-game series victory. 2 big misses there from Stoudemire. Parker blocked by O'Neal as Parker gets knocked to the ground. This was the play last year in the conference semis. And Nash was bleeding.
You reach, bad things happen to you, Mike.
Ginobili can't get it to go. Barbosa the rebound. Thomas, good defense helping out. Raja Bell. Again, good defense. Offensive foul. Kurt Thomas doing a fabulous job defensively.
And what Kurt Thomas is showing you is why Greg Popovich was ecstatic to have him as a member of the Spurs. His presence on both ends of the floor, a guy that can give Tim Duncan a breather, and you can trust him defensively. Sliding his feet, taking the hit, no question about that call. Charge on that.
Again, you can be moving and draw a charge. You just got to get the right position, and Thomas got that. Parker, Thomas now with a jump shot. O'Neal the rebound.
I like him shooting the baseline 17-footer much more than the elbow extended 18-footer.
Barbosa, Bell, Giricek, Shaq, and Stoudemire. Nash right now on the bench. Usually starts the 4th quarter there for Phoenix. O'Neal, Stoudemire, jump shot. Boy, what a smooth jumper.
What do you do against him? A guy can dominate on the block. Now he's added that jump shot. Inside-outside attack. Steps into a rhythm jet.
He's got 24.
But that's what a post-up game can do.
Offensive foul. Excuse me, Jeff. Ginobili pushes off.
I think the post-up game really stabilizes you when the momentum has shifted to be able to come down and throw the ball into the low post and generate a quality shot. That is the value of post-up basketball in the postseason.
Duncan in. Phoenix shooting 48%. They're the #1 shooting team in the NBA in the regular season at 50%. Shaq dumps it in, just his 3rd field goal, but it gives the Suns a 9-point lead.
And that's good defense, better offense. Tough move by Shaquille O'Neal on the block.
Duncan. Finley wide open for 3. And O'Neal able to get it. They're going to call a goaltend. And it's a 3-pointer. O'Neal apparently touched it while it was still above the cylinder, and he's not arguing. Watch the high carom. Oh, that's the right. Excellent call from Tony Brothers. I don't know if it would have gone in. It looked like it had a good chance.
Very good call, though.
No chance of defense. Thomas on a reach-in. That's his 3rd. 2nd team foul. Well, this building is alive. You got a chance for a big road win to start your postseason. Somehow keep your emotions in check.
Well, I think right now, you see, there's been a complaint on every call. It's like, how many complaints per caller is going to happen? And those people that can stay solid and not worry about the last play, but the next play, that's what's critical.
O'Neal to Stoudemire. Left hand shot won't go. Stoudemire almost got his own rebound. A 6-point game with still so much time remaining here in the fourth. Duncan puts it in.
And that's just a quality move. In the past, he may have swung and tried to shoot off the glass, understands the moment, continues to put pressure on Stoudemire with an aggressive move.
And that's the value of Duncan running the floor early. He can beat O'Neal down the floor and make Stoudemire guard it.
Shot clock down to 7. Bowen back in the game. He hasn't played a lot this afternoon. Nash off balance, knocks it down. Tough shot from Steve Nash.
Recognizing time and score, clock dwindling down, quick pick and roll, and he comes off as a scorer as opposed to a passer.
And an offensive foul call on Tim Duncan. Oh, excuse me, Bowen, my mistake. It wasn't 21, it was 12. And Bowen picks up his second. This is such a huge time in a game right now. Suns holding on to a 6-point lead. This would be a great win, but it would be a very difficult loss for them.
It would, because Phoenix has dominated the game. They have certainly outplayed San Antonio. And they've got to finish it off with proper execution down the stretch.
Nice pass, and Nash misses the layup. He's upset. He thought he was hit. Tony Parker back out to Bowen. Parker on the drive. Oh, nice fake. Parker inside. And Shaquille O'Neal with 4 fouls doesn't look to contest the shot.
(2-3-1) today.
That's where your defense has to be on a string. If you commit to the basketball, it's up to the other guys to adjust.
Nash off the mark. Stoudemire the rebound. Nearly stripped. Barbosa. Raja Bell for 3. Won't go. And Parker. Oh, excellent play from Parker to grab the board from Stoudemire. Parker coast to coast, and he's fouled.
Shaq hitting the ball at Nash, not able to finish off of the delivery. Transition basketball. You see Tony Parker, the ball fake. Steve Nash lost, gets to the basket, uses it as a shield, eliminating the shot blocking ability of O'Neal.
And Parker, a big second half. Misses the free throw, however. San Antonio from the line. They've missed now 6. They're 12 of 18. They were down by as many as 16 in the first half. They've trailed the entire game. But here with a chance, and still with over 6.5 remaining. And this is the closest San Antonio has been since the first quarter. A 3-point game with 6.5 to play. Looking, alley-oop, O'Neal up, in, and a foul. The floating pass from Nash for his 9th assist, and Shaq with a chance for a 3-point play.
Michael Finley has to pull over and prevent that pass. He's guarding Grant Hill. He is hanging on the perimeter. That's his steal. And then if you're going to foul, do it before he gets the ball up over his shoulders.
And Thomas perhaps explaining that to Finley as he picks up his 4th foul. Kurt Thomas does.
And that's so crucial, because any good defensive team, it has to be accountability. So Kurt Thomas talking it over with Mike Finley because that's his assignment.
But that's the second time Finley has made that mistake guarding Grant Hill. He's got to pull in, pull over, know who you're guarding, and then if you're going to foul, you can't touch foul O'Neal. You've got to grab it.
Shaquille O'Neal acquired in the trade back on February 6th. Sean Marion going to Miami. During the regular season, they were 18-11 with Shaq.
And what Mike D'Antoni wanted down the stretch. Grant Hill defending Tony Parker. Steve Nash on the other guy. This time is finished.
Starting five back in for the Spurs. O'Neal with his 5th foul. And Duncan will shoot 2.
And that, I think, is a very good call about the verticality. Instead of O'Neal having his left arm straight up, it was forward. Duncan played up through his arm and earned his way to the free throw line.
So 5 fouls for Duncan. Duncan 6 of his first 7, but he's missed 3 in a row. Knocks that one down.
And here's the duck in. O'Neal has his left arm extended, and Mike Breen's eyes need checking because that ball did not go in.
I'm looking down here and he missed it. I'm sorry. I do have my eyes checked. He stands so still when he's about to shoot the free throw.
That would make me more nervous up at the line. There doesn't seem to be any rhythm to that.
And you see the hack-a-shack now with Alberto grabbing Shaquille O'Neal.
Here we go. Seen it before. Now for San Antonio, that's their 3rd foul. They want to get in the penalty where it will give them a chance to put Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line. They can do it up until 2 minutes remaining in the period, and then they have to stop because the rule changes. Now Alberto, now with the 4th. Jeff, what do you think of this strategy?
This is such a difficult decision because it does take away your transition offensive opportunities. Instead of getting stops, it's hard to run out and get easier scores. I actually like hacking O'Neal and those bad free throw shoots when you're ahead. I think it makes them a lot harder to come back on. My GM from last year, Daryl Morey, taught me that.
O'Neal misses that one. So again, they can keep putting him on the line. But then the rule changes with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. It becomes then 1 shot and you get possession of the ball. So hack-a-shack can work for another 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Oh for 2, but a lane violation. So he gets another one.
And the correct call because Alberto went into the lane prior to the release by Shaquille O'Neal.
Now, does Mike D'Antoni counter this? Does he take Shaquille O'Neal out for a little bit?
I wouldn't, but I'm telling you, I would rip Alberto's head off in a film session tomorrow. I mean, you know the guy hesitates. It's not like you haven't been watching him play. How can you violate on a free throw? This is scouting. This is preparation by the individual player.
Rip his head off.
In a film session, not literally, figuratively.
Believe me, I've been there. He would do that.
Shaq misses all 3. 5-point game midway through the 4th quarter. Duncan out to Parker. Parker puts it up, puts it in. Back to 3.
And Mike D'Antoni does the right thing. Take Shaquille O'Neal out, buy some time, run offense. It's a 3-point ball game. You can't afford to allow him to go to the line.
But after you take him out, you've weakened yourself defensively against the Duncan post-up. So where you got stronger is on offense, where you got weaker is on defense.
Nash looking, turnaround shot, it's good. Steve Nash just 4 of 11 from the field, but a big bucket there.
And I totally don't believe that you leave him out until the 2-minute mark. You just buy him a couple of minutes and hopefully you can get something good defensively.
That play right there is going to make the Phoenix coaching staff so happy. Stoudemire defended a duck in well. He didn't get beat deep. He deflected it and got the steal.
Stoudemire trying to set a screen for Nash. Shot clock winding down again. Nash tried to banker. Alberto the rebound.
If I'm Steve Nash, I go right back to that play also. Coming off a screen, no defender, get a wide open look.
See 2 men around Duncan, leaving Alberto open.
He's got to shoot the ball if you're in the game and you're wide open.
Parker. Shot clock down to 7. Parker penetrates inside to Alberto, and he lays it in. First bucket for Alberto, and a big one. The Suns have led the entire game by as many as 16 in the first half, by as many as 9 here in the fourth. But it looked like Stoudemire got held there. Nash spinning. Grant Hill, the jump shot, way off the mark. And Alberto the rebound.
That's a perfect defensive possession. Make Grant Hill shoot two-point jump shot.
They go to Duncan. Duncan doubled. Out to Parker. Up to Finley. It's a three-pointer. Bang! Tie game! The crowd has erupted here at the AT&T Center. Boris Diaw. 7 on the shot clock. Nash back to Stoudemire. Oh, Stoudemire, the strong finish. How does he make that pass all the time?
And again, he's playing behind the basket. You got to get back. He's not an offensive threat when he's behind the basket.
Ginobili. Duncan steps back. Duncan drives. Duncan backs it in. Without Shaquille O'Neal, it's been a lot easier for Tim Duncan, who now has 27.
And the Suns exclusively going with pick and roll basketball.
Stoudemire on the drive, blocked, knocked loose off his leg. San Antonio ball. The Spurs slowly climbing back after the slow start. O'Neal still on the bench.
And I love the substitution right there. Barbosa for Hill. Another offensive weapon to go to when the clock winds down for Phoenix.
They'll look for Duncan again. Raja Bell chasing Ginobili. Duncan double to Thomas. Spurs with their first lead of the game. Terrific turnaround for the defending champions. Nash puts it up, and he draws the foul. And one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the game will shoot 2 critical free throws here.
And a bad double team on the other end. At some point, you have to say, one-on-one defense, we need to stop, man up. That time, Amari Stoudemire defending Tim Duncan. You leave Kurt Thomas wide open underneath the rim.
And I like D'Antoni coming back with O'Neal so they can defend Duncan one-on-one.
And now O'Neal comes back in the game as we hit the 2:14 mark, and the Akashak rule will go away once we get under 2.
And you help. You come big, you come over. Who's going to rotate? Nobody rotates. You have to have accountability. You have to talk about it. You leave Kurt Thomas open. Tim Duncan, one of the best passing big men of all time.
Nash, 2 clutch free throws. 11 points, 10 assists for Nash. We're tied again. Coming up on the 2-minute mark. And this is only game 1. Shaq back in. He's got 5 fouls. Duncan, tough shot, puts it in. What a game for Tim Duncan. Also with 3 blocks. Nash looking. Parker chasing. Shot clock at 7. Nash again. Off balance to Stoudemire. And it counts. Count it, and a foul. Hard contact, and he still put it in, and a chance for a 3-point play.
How many coaches growing up say you got to stop dribbling the basketball, pounding it? The hands of Amari Stoudemire. Steve Nash not afraid to over-dribble until the defense forces him to find Stoudemire underneath the big-time finish and the contact.
5 fouls on Kurt Thomas. Stoudemire, #1 in the NBA in these type of traditional 3-point plays. And hits the clutch free throw. Suns back up by 1 with 1.5 minutes to play. Ginobili with Bell on him. Stoudemire picks him up on the switch. Shot clock at 7. Ginobili on the drive. Blocked. A lot of contact there. Barbosa to the basket. Runs up and puts it in. Clutch play from Barbosa. And a timeout called. Manu Ginobili felt he got hit down the other end. 1:10 remaining here in Game 1 and opening day of the 2008 playoffs, and couldn't ask for a better game. Phoenix leading by 3, courtesy of a big block shot from Shaquille O'Neal as Manu Ginobili felt he got hit.
Ginobili drives it. O'Neal's in the restricted area. That is a foul right there. He's in the restricted area. That's 2 shots.
Well, I don't agree. I think that's a blocked shot by Shaquille O'Neal, but here's where all the acting and flopping goes against you. Referee sees Ginobili sell his body as if it's contact. He's done it all game long, so it's hard to determine the correct call in my opinion.
O'Neal initially made a clean block on the ball. There was contact certainly after it.
You mean that elbow into his face is now legal?
Still plenty of time left. Duncan, Thomas, Parker, Finley, and Ginobili out there for San Antonio.
If you're the Suns right now, you don't want to double. You don't want to leave shooters wide open. Play one-on-one, fundamentally sound basketball.
With 9.5 to go here in the 4th, Phoenix was up by 9. Spurs came back and took the lead, but now they trail by 3. O'Neal again has 5 fouls. Duncan, O'Neal pokes it away, dives on the floor, lost it out of bounds. And it's still Spurs ball with 16 on the shot clock.
How about the intensity of Shaquille O'Neal defensively, moving his feet? Looked like a perimeter guy out there, and then willing to sacrifice his body and get his tuxedo dirty.
Trying to call timeout even though he didn't have the ball.
And that's where you see O'Neal being the athlete that he is. He can move his feet. This idea that he can't play pick and roll defense or guard, that's a misnomer. Sometimes he hasn't challenged himself enough to be a great defender.
1 minute remaining in a 3-point game. Parker puts it up. No good. Thomas tip won't go. Battle around Duncan, the offensive boards. Back out to Philly for 3. Short. And rebound Nash. They do not have to foul yet. Still plenty of time remaining. But the Spurs need a stop. And Nash says, I want the ball in my hands. About a 20-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Nash on the drive. Shot clock at 2. Nash is going to have to put it up. 24-second violation. A big turnover right there. Only the second one of the 4th quarter.
It can't happen. If you're Steve Nash running the show, you have to recognize the clock dwindling down and at least get a field goal attempt.
All right, 3-point game. Does Phoenix look to foul and make sure that San Antonio doesn't get a 3-point play? Either way, both coaches are going to talk about their strategy. San Antonio down 3. Jeff, do they go for a quick 2, or do they try and get a 3-pointer?
Well, you attack the basket, and if you can get to the rim and no help comes, you lay it in. If not, and help comes, kick it out, take your quickest, best shot, 2 or 3.
Mark, if they decide they're going to look for a 3 and take their time, if you're Phoenix, do you foul and not let them hit a 3-pointer?
Well, they're going to take their time, no question about it, because if you're Phoenix, you have a foul to give. Stretch this ball game out, and then when the clock is dwindling down, don't allow them to get up a 3.
Again, Phoenix has a foul to give. That's very big right now. Meanwhile, San Antonio has only 1 timeout remaining.
And I would think about playing small right here, not having Alberto in the game, but Brent Berry, another 3-point shooter to stretch the floor out.
Alberto on the inbounds to Ginobili. Finley. Finley's got a good look at 3. Oh, he hits it and ties the game with 15.1 remaining. Michael Finley knocks down the clutch 3-pointer. And he does it in less than 5 seconds.
And Barbosa stayed in the game even though Grant Hill was available. A smaller defender on the bigger Finley. Good separation, good screen by Alberto. Excellent pass by Ginobili. And gotta give Michael Finley credit. Missed an open one earlier, knocked this one down.
Finley, the 13-year veteran, when he signed with them 3 years ago, he went from being an all-star player to a role player here in San Antonio. But they wanted him to hit big shots, something he'd done throughout his career. Well, that's a huge one right now. He's got 9 points in the fourth quarter. All right, so now it's time for Phoenix. How do you handle this final situation if you're the Suns?
I watched in the first half. I thought Steve Nash went too quick when he should have closed out halftime with the basketball. 15 seconds ago, pick and roll basketball with Nash with it in his hands, but take the last shot. You have to force the issue and get what the defense tells you to get, whether it be making a play for yourself or finding the open man.
Now you see Phoenix still with 2 timeouts remaining. Spurs have 1 left. San Antonio does not have a foul to give.
I'm going to go back to the previous play. Greg Popovich, Duncan on the floor, Parker on the floor, Ginobili on the floor. This is why this guy can coach and have coached his way in the Hall of Fame. He goes to Michael Finley.
And Finley delivers. Maybe that's one of the reasons why Alberto is in the game, not only to see above for the inbounds, but then to set a big screen.
Absolutely. And where is Stoudemire? He's backing up. You got to be out there ready to help a teammate like Barbosa, who's late as he trails Finley off the screen.
And the reason why you're out there helping is because the 2-pointer don't hurt you. In that situation, you can't give up a 3.
Barbosa, Bell, Stoudemire, Diaw, and Nash in the game. Shaq is sitting right now.
And if you're the Spurs, it's got to be anybody but Nash or Stoudemire taking this shot. It's got to be Diaw, it's got to be Barbosa, or it's got to be Bell. You can't let them play to their strengths in a last possession.
If I'm Steve Nash, I'm coming off a pick and roll, and I'm going to be the aggressor.
Shot clock turned off. Suns trying to win it here in regulation. Nash looking, back out. Barbosa on the drive, puts it up, won't go. Stoudemire can't get it off, and we're going to overtime. During the regular season, Phoenix was 1-2 in overtime. San Antonio split their 2 overtime games. Foul trouble now is something to think of. Diaw and Shaq each with 5. Kurt Thomas has 5 for San Antonio. Thomas, though, on the bench right now for the Spurs. Diaw doing the same for the Suns. Nash knocks it down.
And that's what I was talking about, ending the game that way. Steve Nash has to come off that screen and roll as a scorer because they're playing him as a passer.
Parker. Short. Duncan takes it away from Stoudemire. Parker setting himself up again. Duncan wants the ball. Backs in, out to Parker. Parker on the drive. Alberto, the baseline, and heads it. Big shot from Alberto.
But great recognition by Parker. As the play evolved, he noticed that Duncan was now being guarded by Stoudemire, posted him, knowing that they would either give single coverage and Duncan can get a great shot, or they have to come with half double team, and he was able to create the shot for Alberto.
Nash, 13 points, 11 assists in the game. Makes his move. Inside Stoudemire, Amari Stoudemire now with 31 points.
But when he gets behind the basket like that, you have to get back to your man. There's no reason to keep looking at Nash. He can't score from behind the basket.
I've seen a lot of great point guards in my time. Steve Nash runs the pick and roll better than anybody that's ever played the game.
Ginobili out to Parker. Ginobili sets up for 3. Nash tips it, taken by Barbosa. Barbosa with 8 rebounds in the game. He leads the Suns in rebounds. Barbosa tripped up. Now in the overtime, you shoot on the penalty on the 4th foul.
And when I talk about Steve Nash, playing pick and roll basketball, a lot of point guards have flaws. There's things that they can do and there's things that they can't. everything in the book Steve Nash can do. Find guys, shoot, score, attack the basket. It's up to him, and he's a great decision maker.
We called that when a guy got behind the basket, a small guard, midget call. We yelled out midget. Everybody got back to their own instead of staring at the ball. It's a hard habit to break, not focusing on the ball. But Nash's only option there is to pass.
And Nash option there to shoot, and he gives him a 4-point lead. But Nash with a couple of big buckets.
But coming off with a little bounce to his attitude right now. Coming off the screen and roll and forcing Tony Parker to defend.
And it's interesting. San Antonio's gone away from the hack-a-shack here in overtime.
Ball last touched by Stoudemire. Duncan wanting a foul. They'll inbound. Shot didn't hit the rim, so the 24-second clock is now at 9. Substitution, Kurt Thomas with his 5 fouls comes in for Alberto.
You're Phoenix right now with a 4-point lead, 9 seconds to go on the shot clock. This could be the ball game. Your attitude and approach should be get a stop right now and secure the basketball.
Suns a couple of times thought they had this one. Duncan, quick move, left-handed hook shot. Oh, what a pretty play from Tim Duncan. And he has 31. One of the great players in the history of the game beginning this postseason run in fine fashion. Nash for 3. That's good. Steve Nash from downtown.
Again, Tony Parker goes under a pick and roll. You can't go under a three-point shooter like Steve Nash. And again, they've chosen not to go back to the hack-a-shack.
Foul on Raja Bell. Bell trying to say it was Kurt Thomas. Mike Callahan says nope, it's against Raja Bell. Bell pleading. Steve Nash trying to calm everybody down. Bell trying to plead with the fans.
That's 3 of the best in basketball in Bell, Ginobili, and Kurt Thomas. But you never know which call to make.
They all know how to sell it. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in overtime. O'Neal doesn't go for the fake. Duncan makes it tough and he blocks the shot. Big block, his 4th of the game. Under 2 minutes to go, Phoenix by 5. Stoudemire. Deflected by Ginobili, and then a foul on Stoudemire. A great play from Ginobili as Stoudemire picks up his 5th. Big play defensively from the big guy.
And the tough left-handed hook by Duncan. The prior possession, this time Shaq stays down and says, not on my watch. Big-time block shot.
Meanwhile, Jeff, that play from Manu Ginobili, he makes big plays to help you win championships. That's the type of play. Phoenix scored there, and this game might have been over. That's a 3. Short. Rebound O'Neal, knocked out of his hands. Bell tries to save it. They go crashing into photographers, and it's going to be Spurs ball.
And you're right, Mike. That play by Ginobili, but it was set up because San Antonio changed their pick and roll coverage and trapped Nash off the pick and roll. Quick rotation to Stoudemire. He had to make another pass, and a great deflection by Ginobili.
They're checking on the shot clock. A minute and a half to go. Mike Callahan making sure everything's okay. Don't forget tomorrow, Nuggets and Lakers from the Staples Center, Game 1. Lakers the top seed. 2:30 Eastern, GMC NBA countdown. Tip off shortly after 3. Thomas to Duncan. Duncan lines up the shot. All the time in the world, puts it in. 33 for Duncan, 3-point game.
If you're Raja Bell, I understood trying to run back to Ginobili, not leaving him open, daring Tim Duncan to be a jump shooter. Not a bad defensive trick.
Nash has 7 points already here in the overtime. Inside to Stoudemire, lays it in. Pretty pass, his 13 assists, and Stoudemire has 33 points.
Here's the adjustment. Last time they trapped him, he got rid of the basketball. This time, keeps it, and he makes the play to Stoudemire in the paint.
Back to 5. Parker, Duncan, inside, it's good. Tim Duncan, 14 of 21 from the field. Final minute of OT. Crowd on its feet once again. Suns haven't missed a shot in overtime. They're 5 for 5. Nash, Stoudemire, lost the ball. Picked up by Ginobili. Ginobili on the drive. Back into Duncan. Stripped down low, and Stoudemire comes up with it. They don't need to foul. There's a 6-second difference. Or, Jeff, would you foul in this case?
I would not. I would get a stop, call a timeout, and run a set play for the three-point shot.
3-point game. And again, on a timeout, they can advance the ball. Stoudemire inside. Offensive foul. Stoudemire's fouled out. Timeout, San Antonio. 12.6 seconds remaining in overtime. San Antonio with the ball, down by 3. Ginobili will inbound. You often see the guy who throws the inbound get it back for a 3-point attempt. Raja Bell will be aware of that. They give it back to Ginobili. Nash all over him. O'Neal with the help. Takes it to the basket. Duncan, a 3-pointer. Puts it up. It's good! Tim Duncan from 3-point land ties the game! His first 3-point field goal of the season.
Overtime, Shaquille O'Neal has to understand he cannot afford to foul.
And again, Amari Stoudemire is done. He is fouled out. The leading scorer for the Phoenix Suns. Finley. Right to Duncan. Again, O'Neal, 5 fouls, as Mark mentioned. Duncan, left-handed, won't go. Fight for the rebound. Comes away for Raja Bell. Suns had a 5-point lead in the overtime and couldn't hold on. Diaw. Raja Bell inside to O'Neal. O'Neal is fouled. No, a 3-second violation. So a turnover, 18th for Phoenix. Mike D'Antoni has watched his team play a terrific game. This would be a crushing loss. Get only one game in a long series, but this would be a tough one. Ginobili on the drive, right at O'Neal again. Can't really contest the shot, take a chance.
And the reason why is because you know Ginobili so good at creating contact, forces Shaquille O'Neal to fade away, and Ginobili takes it to the cup.
Nash falling away. That's good. Steve Nash hitting big shots in the extra periods.
And he's actually better going left. That's why they sent so many of their pick and rolls to him going to his left hand.
Nash has 9 points in the extra periods, only had 11 through the first 4. Ginobili, bad shot, got his own rebound. Kurt Thomas misses the layup. Duncan lays it in. Shot had fallen down. And the Spurs back up by 2. Kurt Thomas has had a terrific performance, kept it alive, couldn't get it to go. As Duncan now has 40 and a foul on Parker. 5 fouls on Parker.
A lot of time playoff basketball comes down to who wants it more. The Spurs battling offensive rebounding. Orange jersey has to get into the picture, secure the basketball.
Dangerous pass. Diaw to the basket, lays it in. Tough shot, we're tied again. 3 minutes remaining in double overtime. Parker using Duncan. Parker gets inside. Easy two for Parker.
But Kurt Thomas ducking in, cleared out the whole lane. It's like a moving screen. Great duck in by Thomas to clear Diaw out of the way. And Parker was able to get all the way to the rim.
The intangible plays of a veteran. Diaw. Thomas shuts him down. Shot clock down to 4. Shaq back out. Diaw to fake. Has to put it up. It's up. Won't go. Finley the rebound. Tony Parker has been superb with 26. Parker again, and an offensive foul is going to be called.
It was the same thing Kurt Thomas did the play before. Ducking in hard, a moving screen type of play.
And he's fouled out. 4 points, 10 rebounds, and some superb defense. Well, that time commits the turnover.
Here, Parker's turning the corner. Look at Kurt Thomas just dragging Diaw out of the way on the duck in to take away the help.
And here's the one with the foul. This time he leveled him. And Diaw, you could see, saying, hey, wait a minute.
Well, what an outstanding game for Kurt Thomas. It's not about the points, his impact on the ball game. There's so many big guys around this country probably looking, saying, I'm better than Kurt Thomas. Well, you're right, if you don't want to win. If you want to win, it's Kurt Thomas every day of the week.
Nash for three. And he got hit. Parker hit him. 3 free throws for Steve Nash. And more importantly for San Antonio, Parker has fouled out. So Nash will go to the line. Parker, first time he's fouled out this season. He's played 51 minutes.
And who do you go to if you're Greg Popovich? Do you go to Jock Vaughn, defensive purposes, but you'll struggle more offensively? Brent Barry, who's just come back off injury, or Bruce Bowen, and let Ginobili handle the ball?
And he decides to go with Bruce Bowen.
Well, Bowen will come in. Nash will shoot 3, as we mentioned earlier. Nash, third best all time in free throw percentage. Only Mark Price and Rick Barry have higher career numbers. And let's see, was it beyond the mark? Oh, clearly. Wasn't much of a foul.
That's a hit on the elbow, though.
Was it?
Yeah, you can tell, and you almost have to go by where the ball goes. If that ball doesn't hit his, oh my gosh, Nash missed, oh my. But anyway, I'm just saying, you can tell NBA players are very adept at just flicking the elbow to misdirect the shot.
Nash 91% this season. And hits the third one, so 2 out of 3. And it's tied again as we hit the 2-minute mark. Raja Bell has played 52 minutes guarding Ginobili. Ginobili flips it up, and it rolls in. Such a soft touch, and Ginobili has 20. Bowen on Nash. 2 of the best at what they do. Nash puts it up. Won't go. O'Neal on the foul. It ties the game again.
And it's the pressure that Steve Nash puts on your defense coming off that screen and roll. It allows guys lanes to attack the offensive board.
Ginobili again goes right at Shaq and backs it in. With 5 fouls, O'Neal backing off just a bit.
And if you're Shaq, well, I'm sorry, whether you're Shaq, what you have to do is step up and trust the defense behind you. You can't give Ginobili a wide open lane to the rim.
Nash looking. Knocked out of his hands. Still Phoenix ball with 10 on the shot clock.
And Shaquille O'Neal is playing center field on Ginobili.
And as we said earlier, this is only game 1. And they have to call time. Excellent ball denial on Bowen, as Nash couldn't get open.
And they have Duncan inbounding the ball. 1, he's a good decision maker, but 2, they want to keep him off the free throw line. They've got their 3 best free throw shooters, Barry, Finley, and Ginobili in the play.
They deny Ginobili, good defense. Throw it cross court, dangerous pass, and Nash quickly fouls Brent Barry. And Barry, an excellent free throw shooter with 19.5 remaining.
But remember, he has not played much tonight, but also has not played basically for 3 months.
This year, he's taken 20 free throws all season. He's hit 19 of them. And misses the first one. For his career, he's 82%. And again, like you say, Jeff, he only played a couple of games at the end of the season, missed months, first after the trade and then the release, and then because of the calf injury. as O'Neal will come back in.
You think about that. Steve Nash misses a foul shot, and then Brent Barry misses one on the other end.
And Duncan did have Finley open. He made the choice to skip it across court to Barry.
Hits to second. And now Phoenix calls timeout. Their final timeout here in the second overtime. Phoenix out of timeouts. Spurs with a foul to give. Diaw to Nash. Nash puts up a three. It's good! Steve Nash drills the three-pointer and ties the game. 15.7 remaining. Now the Spurs still have a couple of timeouts, but they're not going to use them. Ginobili to the basket, puts it up, banks it in with 1.8 remaining. Phoenix has no timeouts left. Inbound, Nash puts it out.